Good morning, everyone. It's nice to see you, Venerables. We're so lucky to have what we have here at MABA with the experience of the monastics and the education that we get. It's just such a gift, so amazing. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit and refresh us on Manjushri, and then kind of go into some things that I think can help us in the times that we're in. A few years back, we were giving talks on Dharma for difficult times. And so that's kind of what I want to get back into. Manjushri is a bodhisattva, and a bodhisattva is someone that could end the cycle of birth and death by going into nibbana or nirvana, but instead chooses to stay in life, to be reborn again, and vows that he will not enter nirvana, or she will not enter nirvana, until every sentient being is able to end the cycle of birth and death. Manjushri, this picture here shows him with the sword. The sword represents not something used for aggression or violence, but there are four main bodhisattvas, and we're just going to talk about Manjushri today. His name is signifying wisdom. And the wisdom that he signifies is the reality that we have to deal with. There's some folks that instead of dealing with what life throws at them, they try to have it a different way. They try to push reality away. And Manjushri's teachings try to give us some playbook to accept reality as it is. You'll see that typically Manjushri has these 5 knots on top of his head, and they represent different areas of wisdom, Buddha-like wisdom: mirror, equanimity, which we'll talk about later, analysis or investigation, achieving what you set out to achieve, and the last one is the wisdom of the nature of phenomena. And that nature of phenomenon is one of the cores of the Buddhist teaching. There are 3 marks of existence, which you all know, I'm sure. Dukkha, suffering, loosely defined as suffering, probably better defined, as Bhikkhu Bodhi points out, as unsatisfactoriness. Impermanence, or anicca, and non-self, anatta. So what he's trying to do with his sword is cut through the attachments that we have to this phenomena. The Manjushri that we have down in the Blue Lotus house, is not holding a sword. He is holding what's called a rui. And this is an object which still represents the wisdom. It dates back to thousands of years, and sometimes it's referred to as a back scratcher for monks. Manjushri's mainstay is that having wisdom is the ability to abandon craving for samisa satisfaction, worldly satisfaction, by finding not of the flesh satisfaction, joy, happiness, and equanimity, or niramisa. The state that that Manjushri was said to reside in is called Shurangama Samadhi, or Prajnaparamita, or perfect wisdom, perfection of wisdom, concentration. The Buddha said that this was the essence of the nature of being a Buddha. Now, here's one of the things that I want to try and provide today, some kind of a toolkit, a tool belt, quivers, arrows in your quiver, something that you can use to help you stay grounded in life on a daily basis. The first thing is just try to stay grounded or aware of the present moment. Even it can be as low as 10 seconds, and realize what you're doing in the present moment. Because most of us are swept away by thoughts, one right after the other, and we don't really live our lives in the present. The psychological research says that almost 50% of the time, people are somewhere else. They're not present for their own life. So these little questions you can ask. For example, let's say you're cut off in traffic, and you're going to have a thought or a feeling of anger, rage. I mean, you can guess the emotions that you'll have when you're cut off, and they arise like that. It's almost spontaneous. So if you can use this particular little device to catch that feeling, look at that feeling, what they call in the Satipatthana Sutra, the 4 foundations of mindfulness, Vedana. You're looking for the feeling tone. What is that feeling tone? Is it rage? And if it's rage, where does it come from? It had to have been supplied through conditions, causes and conditions. We know it's not permanent because there's no conditioned phenomena in existence which is permanent. If you can stand back from that feeling and simply observe it, you'll see that it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if you can just give it a little bit of time, it'll be over. And it'll save you from the reactivity that you might otherwise have. It takes root. So daily meditation practice will help you establish the ability to pay attention in the present moment, number one. And you'll find with any Buddhist meditation technique, ultimately it will result in more compassion. It doesn't just have to be loving kindness or metta meditation. Every single Buddhist meditation practice will result eventually in you finding yourself more compassionate for the situations others find themselves in. And why would we meditate? Well, because it helps your mental stability. It helps your tranquility. It helps your equilibrium. Equilibrium it's an interesting concept because there are many different kinds of equilibrium, but what I'm talking about is mental neutrality. When you're faced with harsh criticism, when you're lavished with praise, if you can find the ability to be neutral, if you can find the equanimous mind, it's going to be much better for you in the long run. Because eventually, bad stuff happens. Bad stuff happens to everybody, whether it's health, whether it's a car crash, the sickness of a loved one, these crises will arise in your life. When you have a practice of meditation, it's like putting on armor, because you know that you can calm your mind and deal with the crisis. Because as I said before, reality isn't what you want it to be. Reality comes at you and it is what it is. You've got to have the ability to fend off some of the downside. As the Buddha said, dukkha. Dukkha happens. It's going to happen to all of us. This is an interesting one because most of us, me included, don't like to think about death. And that's basically what I'm saying here. Contemplate the limited nature of your existence from a longevity standpoint. Hey, we're all going to die. It's like we're in this giant, or as Elon would say, a matrix, and we're playing this game, but we can't see the clock. At any second in our lives, it can be over. Realize that every time that you do something, coming to Maba, meditating, it could be the last time that you ever do it. So this gets back to being in the present moment. Instead of taking the activities that you're doing, whether it's fixing your computer, whether it's driving to Maba, be present. Be present for the activity that you're conducting. Don't try to just wait until that activity is over so you can do something else. Be present for your own life. Maybe it is the final opportunity. Treat it that way, and it'll give you a new perspective. A new perspective on how to live your life, perhaps. And here we come back to thoughts. This, what's called in Buddhism, papancha, or discursive thinking. The mind just chatters on and on and on. It's like somebody unlocked the door to your house and came in and follows you around every second of the day, telling you this and telling you that. It's like having a puppy on a leash, or a puppy not on a leash, running here and there with no apparent reason. His master calls it the monkey mind. Some people call it the puppy mind. Realize your thoughts for what they are. They're only appearances in consciousness. You don't have to follow them around. They are not you. The mind wants to create drama every second of the day. This present moment's the only opportunity you're going to have to connect with your existence. Otherwise, you're ruminating about the past, or you're thinking about lunch. What's going to happen next? And that's not a way to live your life. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's the neuroplasticity, doing it over and over and over and over until it becomes a habit. It's always there. The present moment doesn't go away just because you're lost in thought somewhere. Start again. Just like in meditation, when you're focusing on the breath and the thoughts come in, what do? You recognize it as a thought, you smile at yourself, and you go back to your object, the breath, the body, the mind, whatever your object of meditation is. You go back to that object and you begin again. So when you lose the present moment, realize it and go back, because it's always there. Now, this is what I was talking about our current state of affairs. No matter what side of the fence you sit on, things are weird. Things are really weird. We've got constitutional amendments that have been in existence for hundreds of years, 250, and all of a sudden they don't count anymore. There are two things that we need to keep in mind. The first is patience, which is one of the 10 perfections or paramis of wisdom, and equanimity, what I talked about earlier, this mental neutrality. Equanimity is not only one of the 10 perfections, but also one of the 7 factors of awakening all of these were set out by the Buddha. So the Buddha said that everything is in a constant state of flux. His exact quote was, everything is becoming otherwise. So if you cling to things that are becoming otherwise, what do you think is going to happen? Whatever satisfaction you get, it's not going to last. So patience, the Buddha said, conquer anger with patience, evil with good, the miser with generosity, and the liar with truth. And that's from the Dharmapada. Also, patient endurance. Patient endurance is the highest sacrifice. For he who is patient, no evil is found in him. Patience is not just passively waiting, but the active ability to endure insult, suffering, or adversity without hatred. How nice would that be if everybody could do that? So keep in mind these two principles, foundational principles, patience and equanimity. In the coming months, the coming years, be patient. Take care of your mind. Protect your mind from what's going on, and it will serve you. It will serve you well. Thank you all.